Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our online podcast, The Future Classroom, where we talk about the real educational issues. I'm Ang from TSLB1114, and today I have two amazing classmates with me.
Hi everyone, I'm Bok from TSLB1114. Honestly, when we decided on this topic, I was like, finally, something we actually deal with every day.
And hi everyone, I'm Alifa. Same here. This topic really hits home because we are constantly using WhatsApp, email, and also Google Classroom, and it is part of our daily life as a students.
So, today we are discussing on digital etiquettes, also known as Netiquette, in the academic environment. Specifically, how can futuristic teachers, as catalysts for quality education, be role models for good online communication? And how does this improve learning in the 21st century classroom?
I'm so excited. But first, let's make sure all of us are on the same page here. So, what exactly is netiquette?
From what I've understand, it's basically the rules of being respectful and professional when we communicate online, whether it's email, discussion forums, Zoom classes, or even WhatsApp groups.
Exactly. It's about understanding that online spaces are still formal learning environments, not just because we are behind a screen means we can be casual or rude.
That's so true. And since we're training to be teachers, I think we need to think about this from two angles, which is as students now in IPG and as future teachers who will be guiding the next generation.
Yeah, I think it's also worth mentioning that Netiquette isn't just one set of rules because it changes depending on the platform, right? Like how you communicate on email is different from how you communicate on WhatsApp.
Good points, Alifa. Email is more formal, where you need to add subject lines, proper greetings, and structured paragraphs. But even on WhatsApp with lecturers, we still need to be respectful and clear.
Right. I strongly agree with you guys. So, I can say Netiquette is really about adapting our communication style to fit the context while always maintaining professionalism and respect. Let us explore this even further.
Alright, let's begin with something real. From your experience as IPG students, how does digital etiquette or the lack of it affect your daily academic life? Bob, would you like to give your opinion first?
Sure, thank you, Ang. Mm, to be honest, I think it affects everything I do. Like when I submit assignments or homework on the Google Classroom, or when I need to WhatsApp lecturers for help. I think every single interaction needs some level of digital etiquette.
Yeah, I'm agree with you, Bob. And I've noticed that sometimes I'm guilty of this too. I've noticed that we forget that these platforms are still part of our formal education. Like I've seen people message lecturers at midnight saying things like, "Sir, don't understand, help me." And from the sentences, we know that there is no greeting, no proper explanation, or nothing.
Yeah, that's such a good example from Alifa. For me, I think the biggest issue is tone. When you are writing or typing a message, there's no facial expressions or voice tone, right? So sometimes what you write can sound really rude, even if you don't mean it that way.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, one time, someone in the group chat just types, Why? Question mark. During our discussion. It sounded really challenging and aggressive. Maybe they're just genuinely asking, I'm not sure.
And I've seen another scenario that during online classes, and I'm raising my hand here too. During online classes, many students keep their cameras off and they don't even respond when they are called with the lecturers, and maybe they even scrolling TikTok while the lecturer is teaching.
Okay, but let's be fair. Sometimes there are valid reasons, right? Like internet problems, or maybe someone is in a noisy environment. What do you guys think? Is it always bad manners?
To be honest, I think it really depends. Like, if you genuinely have technical issues, that's a different story. But some people just, you know, they don't take online classes seriously. Like, they think online means doing whatever they want behind the screen.
Yeah, and that's true, Bob. That attitude will affect everyone because when people don't participate the discussions, it will become boring. Nobody wants to share ideas, and the whole learning quality will drop.
Yeah, right, Alifa. Poor digital etiquette does not just affect one individual, it can influence the entire classroom environment, reducing participations and the quality of academic discourse.
Definitely. You girls have really great points. Let's talk about the whole AI situation. I think there's no denying that all of us use ChatGPT or other AI tools for our assignments. And some people just plainly copying entire answers without even reading them. I think that's not using technology responsibly.
Yeah, that's true, Bob. And for me, I think using AI is okay if you are using it to help you learn, like to help you understand the difficult concepts or to check your work. But copying blindly, that's academic dishonesty, and it also means you're not actually learning anything.
Yeah, and it's also an etiquette issue because submitting work that isn't your own is dishonest. Furthermore, when AI generated content is used in discussions, it makes the interaction seem artificial and reduces meaningful engagement.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been in group discussions where someone clearly copied their answers from ChatGPT, and it had nothing to do with what we were actually discussing about. It was like really awkward.
Yeah, I've remembered that another scenario I've experienced. It is late submissions. There are some students just submit assignments late without any explanation or even apology. I mean, things happen, but at least communicate properly about it.
That's right. If you are going to be late, you should send a proper message to the people related or lecturer explaining the reasons as politely if an extension is possible and remain respectfully throughout. Simply submitting late without communication is unprofessional and show poor digital etiquette.
I agree with both of you. So, I think we can make a small summary. What we have been saying is that digital etiquette is not just about being polite. It's about respecting the learning process, respecting other people's time, being honest in our academic work, and taking online education seriously. As future teachers, we need to be aware of these issues because we'll be dealing with them in our own classrooms one day.
Yeah. Alright. Now let's think about our future role as teachers. What does it mean to be a futuristic teacher when it comes to digital etiquette? Alifa, what's your take?
Um, in my opinion, a futuristic teacher is someone who understands that teaching isn't just about standing in front of the whiteboard anymore. It is because education now happens online, on apps, or even through screens. So the teachers need to be good at digital communication themselves.
Yeah, that's so true. And I like to say that teachers are students' role models, whether they realize it or not. Like, for example, students will watch everything teachers do. So, if a teacher sends sloppy emails or ignores students' messages, students will think that that's okay and do the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's a good point, Bob. Personally, I think futuristic teachers need to be intentional about modeling good behavior. Like when they write emails, they should use proper greetings, clear subject lines, and professional language. I believe that students will pick up on those habits.
Yeah, that's a pretty points, but have a question. Should teachers just model good behavior or should they actually teach it directly? How about you, Bob?
Hmm, good question. I think it is both. In my opinion, you can't just assume students automatically know how to write professional emails or how to participate respectfully in online discussions. So I think these things need to be taught.
Yeah, I strongly agree with Bob. It's just like grammar. We don't assume students know it naturally, right? We teach them explicitly. The same goes to Netiquette.
Okay, okay. From your answers, so how teachers can teach this? Bob, can you give me a practical example?
Hmm, good question. To be honest, I think it's pretty easy. Let's say we show two emails side by side. Email A says, need help when free. And email B says, Dear Madam Reshma, I hope you're doing well. I'm having difficulty with the first assignment. Could we arrange a time to discuss this? Thank you. And then we ask students which one is more professional and why.
That's perfect. Students can immediately see the difference. When we compare the two emails, email B is clearly more professional because it includes a proper greeting, uses polite and specific language, and shows respect for the teacher's time. Whereas email A is too informal and sounds rude.
Yeah, moreover, teachers can also set clear rules for online discussions, like use respectful language, don't type in all caps lock, support your opinions with evidence, and do respond to at least two classmates. Because when expectations are clear, the students will know what to do.
Yeah, good points, Alifa. And I'd like to add when teachers actually enforce these rules consistently, students will understand that online learning is serious, not just casual chatting.
Yeah, but honestly, is there time for this? I mean, teachers already have so much to cover. Can they really spend time teaching digital etiquettes in class?
I want to answer this. I think it's an investment because if you teach it properly at the beginning, you will save the time later because students will communicate more clearly, ask better questions, and you won't have to deal with messy situations.
Yeah, I agree with Alifa. Plus, we're not just teaching them to be good students, we're actually teaching them important skills for their future careers. Like, we all know that almost every workplace now uses email, video calls, and even messaging apps. These are essential career skills for their future.
Yeah, exactly. And the futuristic teachers views digital etiquette as essential for preparing students in real life situations, not just for passing exams. This represents an important shift in mindset towards developing lifelong skills and responsible digital citizens.
Yeah, I want to add something. I think teachers also need to be responsive. Like, if a student sends a respectful and well written email, the teacher should respond in a timely manner. If the teachers ignore the messages, then the students will stop trying to communicate properly.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. Like, teachers need to practice what they preach. You just can't expect students to be responsive and respectful if you're not doing the same thing.
You're right. And I think teachers should also give feedback on communication skills, not just content. Like, if a student sends a poorly written email, then take a minute to explain how they could improve it. That's teaching too.
So, guys, the futuristic teachers are basically digital mentors, is it? And they guide students not just in subject content, but in how to navigate the digital world professionally and ethically.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about the bigger picture now. How does good digital etiquette actually improve academic discourse? You know, the quality of discussions and learning. Bob, what do you think?
Hmm, good question. I think when people communicate respectfully, it creates a safe environment. Like students feel comfortable sharing their ideas, even if those ideas are different or maybe a little risky. Nobody wants to participate if they are going to be attacked or laughed at, right?
Exactly. And I've remembered in one of my classes, there's someone share an opinion and another student reply, that's stupid. Guess what? That person never participated again. And actually, nobody else wanted to participate either because we were all scared.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of how poor etiquette kills discussions. For me, I think respectful communication also helps us think better. When people ask good questions instead of just criticizing, it makes you reconsider your ideas and develop stronger arguments.
Yeah, like instead of saying you're wrong, someone could say, I see your point, but have you considered this other perspective? That's that is what actually keeps the conversation going and everyone can learn more.
And I want to add that teachers need to model this too. I've had lecturers who respond to student answers with interesting thought. Can you explain your reasoning? Versus lecturers who just say, no, that's incorrect. Guys, which one makes you want to keep trying?
Obviously, the first one, because it validates your effort and encourages you to think deeper, which makes students more willing to participate and continue learning.
Yeah, good points, girls. So, when teachers use good digital etiquette, for example, respectful tone, constructive feedback, and asking questions, students naturally copy that behavior, and discussions become even more meaningful.
Yeah, I also think that clear communication leads to better understanding. Because when people write clearly and organize their thoughts, everyone can follow the discussion better. There's no more confusion about what someone actually meant.
Yes, and this connects to what Bok mentioned earlier about workplace skills. In professional settings, you need to disagree respectfully, give constructive feedback, and communicate clearly. These are all netiquette skills.
Exactly, you are spot on. So, Netiquette isn't just about being nice, it's about creating conditions where real learning can happen, such as where people feel safe, where ideas are challenged respectfully, and where everyone can participate meaningfully.
Yeah, that's a true point. I have another example. In one of my education classes, that time we had to do peer reviews of teaching plans, and there's people were really harsh. Like the dialogue is, "This is terrible. You need to redo everything," and that didn't help anyone improve.
Yeah, that's destructive criticism. It's not constructive. What would be better?
I want to answer. I think something like, I like your activity ideas, but I think the timing might be too tight. Have you considered extending this section? I think questions like these are more specific, helpful, and respectful.
Yeah, exactly, guys. And that is the kind of feedback that makes you want to improve and not to give up.
Yes, and I would like to add that academic discourse improve even more when participants actually read and respond to each other rather than just posting their own opinions. And I've seen discussion boards where everyone posts once and never engages with anyone else's responses, which limits meaningful learning and collaboration.
Yeah, I don't think that's a discussion. That's just a collection of monologues. Real academic discourse requires back and forth, building on ideas and questioning assumptions.
And good netiquette makes that possible. Just like when people communicate respectfully and clearly, they automatically create an environment where genuine intellectual exchange happen, and that's when real learning occurs.
Yes. All right, let's think about the future now. With all the new technologies such as the artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and online learning platforms, how will digital etiquettes become even more important? Alifa, you may start first this time.
Yeah, sure. For me, I think as classrooms become more digital and global, netiquette becomes critical. Can you imagine Malaysian students working on a project with students from Japan, Morocco, and Brazil? Um, It nurtures different cultures and different communication styles. Without clear netiquette rules, misunderstandings will happen constantly.
Yeah, and there's the whole permanent digital footprint issue. Like everything you post online stays there forever. So, a careless comment today could affect your scholarship application or your job interview years later. I believe students really need to understand this.
Yeah, for me, I think I'm thinking about AI specifically, like ChatGPT and other AI tools. They are not going away, right? So teachers need to help students understand how to use them ethically. What counts at what counts as cheating, what's acceptable. These are Netiquette's questions.
Yeah, I agree that that's a great point, Ang. Maybe instead of banning AI, teachers should teach proper AI etiquette like how to acknowledge when you've used AI help, how to verify AI information, and how to use it as a learning tool, but not a replacement for thinking.
Yeah, let's think further here. Have you guys thought about virtual reality classrooms? Like in the future, students might attend classes as avatars in virtual spaces. There will be whole new rules about appropriate behavior in those environments.
True. Questions like what is appropriate for your avatar to wear? Or how close can avatars stand to each other? Might sound funny, but they are real issues that need clear guidelines in virtual learning spaces.
Yeah, guys, for me, I think the core principles stay the same though. It contains respect, clarity, honesty, and responsibility. It's because technology changes, but these values don't change.
Agreed. And that's why futuristic teachers are so important. They need to help students adapt these timeless values to new technologies. It's not just about teaching content anymore. It's about teaching students how to be digital citizens.
Yeah. What about privacy concerns? With more learning happening online, students are sharing more personal information. How does Netiquette relate to privacy?
Wow, that's a great question, Ang. I think part of netiquette isn't respecting others' privacy. Like, don't screenshot private conversations and share them. Don't post pictures of classmates without permission, and don't share personal information that others told you in confidence.
Yeah, I agree with you, Alifa. And I like to add the important part, which is being smart about our own privacy. Like, don't overshare personal data or personal details in public forums. And we should be careful about what background we show on video calls. As well as I think the most important is to think about what we are going to post.
Yes, that's a really important point. Building on what you've said about privacy, digital literacy and netiquette clearly go hand in hand. Effective online communication requires not only technical skills, but also an understanding of ethical and professional behavior.
And guys, there's here another future consideration. I it is accessibility. As education becomes more digital, we need to make sure everyone can participate. like providing captions for videos, describing images for visually impaired students, and also using simple language for non-native speakers.
Yeah, that's Netiquette too. It's about being inclusive and considerate of everyone's needs and circumstances.
Yeah, therefore, as technology keeps evolving, Netiquette needs to evolve as well. However, at its core, it's still about respect, responsibility, and creating a positive learning environment for everyone. Alright, guys, we are getting close to the end. Let's make this really practical. What can we, as future teachers, actually do to promote good digital etiquettes? Bob, could you share one concrete action that teachers can take to promote netiquettes in the classroom?
Yes, of course. I'd say that teachers should start from day one. So, in the first class, we should clearly explain our expectations for digital communication, like what kind of emails will we respond to, and what behavior is expected in online discussions. We, as teachers, should set the standard early.
I want to add, next, we have to model it consistently. From every single email you send, every online interaction, and every piece of feedback, please make sure you are demonstrating the behavior you want to see. It is because students learn more from what we do than what we say.
You are right. Moreover, my idea is to create opportunities for practice in applying netiquette. Instead of just explaining the rules to students, we can provide activities where students practice writing professional emails, giving respectful feedback, and engaging in online classroom and discussions. Because as the saying goes, practice makes perfect, right?
Yeah, and I think we also need to remember that we're also students ourselves right now in IPG. So, we should start practicing good digital etiquette today, like how we message our lecturers, how we participate in online classes, and how we respond to classmates.
That's totally true, Bob. And we can't wait until we become teachers. It is because the habits we build now will carry forward into our teaching careers.
And here's another practical idea, which is to create a netiquette guide for or checklist for students. Something simple they can refer to when they are unsure about how to communicate appropriately online.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, Ang. I think it could include things like how to write a professional email, how to disagree respectfully, how to give constructive feedback, and when to use different communication channels.
And guys, teachers should also be open to feedback. If you're doing something that students find confusing or unhelpful, just listen to them and adjust it. And this will prove that netiquette is a two-way street.
Yeah. So I think all of us agree that it's really about creating a culture of respectful digital communication, not just enforcing rules. When everyone, including teachers and students, commit to good netiquette, the whole learning environment improves.
You're right. So let me summarize what we have discussed today. First, digital etiquette is essential in modern education. It affects everything from daily communications to overall learning quality. Second, futuristic teachers must be role models who both demonstrate and explicit teach good digital behavior. Third, when etiquette is practiced properly, it creates safe learning environments where academic discourse can thrive.
And fourth, as education becomes more digital and global, these skills become even more critical. We're not just teaching students to pass exams, we're preparing them to be responsible and professional digital citizens who can navigate an increasingly connected world.
Finally, there is something we all share responsibility for teachers, students, and also institutions. Because everyone has a role to play in creating a culture of respectful and professional digital communication, as it's not just one person's job.
As IPG teacher trainees, we are all in a unique positions. We are experiencing digital learning as students while preparing to become teachers. So let's use this opportunity to develop excellence digital etiquette habits ourselves so we can model them for our future students.
I agree, because at the end of the day, the big idea states that futuristic teachers are catalysts for quality education. And one powerful way we can improve education is by fostering respectful and professional digital communication. It's not a small thing. It's actually fundamental to good teaching and learning.
Yeah, that's a great point, guys. Because when we get this right, everyone can get the benefits. For an example, teachers can teach more effectively, the students can learn more deeply, and we can create positive learning communities both online and offline. And these are the skills that students have to learn to serve them throughout their life.
Yes, and remember, digital etiquette is not just a set of rules to memorize, it's a mindset, a way of thinking about how we interact with others in digital spaces. It's about empathy, respect, clarity, and responsibility.
So, whether you're a teacher trainee like us, a current teacher, or a student, think about how you communicate online. Are you being respectful, clear, professional? Are you contributing to a positive learning environment?
Remember, guys, the small changes in how we communicate can make a big difference in learning outcomes. So let's all commit to practicing better digital etiquette starting today.
Thank you for listening to the Future Classroom. We hope this discussion has given you some practical ideas about digital etiquette in education. Until next time, bye!
Goodbye.